searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, but those eyes so bright.
So everyone is always asking me for tips and tricks on losing my baby weight, just like losing weight in general. So I figured today we would bring someone on to talk about all of that, because I am no expert when it comes to weight loss. I think my 55 pounds I lost after the baby was contributed to several things other than just diet. I did M-Sculpt, I did EMS workouts. I literally electrocuted my body. I did anything I could. So I'm like, anytime someone writes in and asks, how did you lose the baby weight? I'm like, well, I think part of it, I could be fortunate and, chop it up to genetics. But this is something that I've wanted to talk about on the podcast, but I'm like, I'm definitely not the person to do it. So I always want women to feel their best and have the right tools to get them there. So today I have brought in Lauren Hubert.
You said it right, girlfriend.
Perfect. And I know you have your master's of science. You are a registered dietitian. So you are the woman who can speak on all of this. I know you've had your own weight loss journey, and you are a person who just helps women feel hot, healthy, and successful with losing weight and never gaining it back.
Yes, an emphasis on the hot. I feel like there's a big stigma sometimes where you're not allowed to talk about weight loss. It's taboo, but you should care about how you look. I mean, it's how you're perceived to others, and it's not about being what I say is like the skinniest bitch in the room, but it's like, how can you just feel really good in your body, especially after you give birth? And you just go through such a long journey to get there. No,
seriously. So my daughter right now, she's about to be 2, and she is the cutest. Right now, her obsession on YouTube is mommy, big belly, big belly. And all she wants to do is watch all of my videos from when I was pregnant.
Oh, that what she means, big belly. I'm like, what is big belly? I have a nephew, but I'm like, I've never heard of that.
A new Netflix show?
Yes.
No, she wants to watch mommy's YouTube, and she wants to watch me with my big belly. And then I tell her, like, Summer, that was you. You were in mommy's big belly. And so today, this morning, actually, I did like a maternity haul, and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was 55 pounds that I gained, but watching it back, it's so insane how women's bodies can do this, from giving birth to just, other reasons for weight gain and weight loss. And as I'm watching these videos back, I'm like, oh my God, no wonder why people are always like, how did you do it? Because
it's crazy when you think what the female body does. I have never been pregnant myself, knock on wood, hopefully one day. But it's just wild. But also it's also like traumatic for some women in a way too. Like, it's scary when, say you've never struggled with your weight before, and then you get pregnant. And then obviously you gain this weight for your daughter and your child, but then being on the other side, it's like, now you have this new lifestyle. Yeah. You're super stressed. You have so much going on. And you want to get back to that body that you feel you're best in. But it's like, how do you navigate that, especially in a world? And obviously we're in LA. So it's a little difficult to know what is true, what's actually healthy, what is really going to help you out. And, ultimately that's why women also fad diet. They don't understand what they should be doing.
Oh, girl, I've done them all. So I struggled with an eating disorder in college. This was when Paris Hilton was hot, not Kim Kardashian.
Very different body types.
You needed to be skinny in Hollywood. So I mean, I would literally just like count my calories, eat goldfish for a full meal because I knew exactly how many calories it would be. And then when I moved out to Hollywood and started just kind of partying a bit, I oddly put on like 25, 30 pounds. Then I lost it doing the master cleanse and all of these fads and every unhealthy way possible. Then I got to a decent weight, but then it was just, so I'm married twice now. My first wedding, I wore this crop top wedding dress, and I definitely didn't feel my best then, but I just didn't really care. I wasn't one to work out, go to the gyms much. And then I looked back at all of my photos and I'm like, okay, well, we're now going to have to Photoshop all of these like fat rolls on the side of me, and people were talking shit. And so I got in shape in the most healthy way. I got a personal trainer. I started working out. We did carb cycling. Like, I did everything right. And then rumors online, Scheana's anorexic. And I'm like, oh my God. As
Which
someone who
is
struggled
so
with that
harmful.
before, I
That's
know.
so harmful because obviously there's a right and wrong way to go about weight loss and healthy eating.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to talk about Ozempic, but there's a lot of
honestly, that's
stuff
not
going
something
on
that we've talked about on this podcast yet. And if we're going to, I feel like you're the person to talk about it with because I've heard so many people. I've even had people ask me currently if I'm on that. And I'm like, absolutely not. Wouldn't do it. Not for me. I have other friends who I don't want to name names who have made some jokes about it. Like, well, after my next baby, I'll just get on Ozempic. And I'm like, I don't think that's what it's there for. But let's talk about it.
It's a tough topic. And obviously, I'm a dietitian. I don't prescribe these medications. And ultimately, there are women and even men out there that can benefit from these drugs. And I'm very conscious to my husband's in healthcare. So I like to, that's their job. It's not my job. However, I'm all for like funny diet jokes. I'm very lighthearted, but the jokes around taking like Ozempic when you have like 5 or 10 pounds you have to lose. I mean, I actually had a conversation recently with a girl 25 years old, wants to lose 10 pounds, vicious dieting cycle. And she was like, I'm going to start taking Ozempic because I have access to it. I'm like, well, what's going to happen? You're 25 years old. You have to take this drug forever to be able to get the benefits from it. And you're just altering your appetite through it. So it's like, as much as I understand things can be funny, like I just worry about really young people seeing celebrities and people in the media taking this drug and really not knowing the repercussions, when you can also go about this in a fun way. Like you don't have to give up your social life and fun and alcohol to be a healthy person. Like you need to learn how to fit it in ultimately.
Yeah. And that's where I feel like with me too, I didn't go on a specific diet after my baby. I really didn't drink much for the first year. I was still breastfeeding, so I was very careful about what I put in my body. But I wasn't on any sort of specific diet. It was just I did electrocute my body with EMS training and M-Sculpt and actually got like really electrocuted one time. And then I was like, this is it. Like my whole body, I have this like suit on. It's wet. It has an iPad that controls it. I don't know if you've ever seen those kind of workouts. And all of a sudden, my body, I was just like, oh, it shocked me. And the trainer was like, you okay? I was like, that was weird. It just like short circuited for a second. And I was like, no, I'm good. And I have a kettlebell. Thank God I wasn't doing anything with the weight like above my head.
Like drop on you. Oh
and I'm doing a kettlebell, like a squat. And all of a sudden my whole body, I was just like, and I just like fully short circuit, drop the kettlebell, like almost on my foot, fall flat to the ground. I got like a weird gym floor. It wasn't carpet, but it was like this wooden material, like a burn on my hand. Oh my God. It was a whole thing. I was like, okay, we're not going to electrocute ourselves anymore. But then I just kept working out and that's what I did. But I know you have a whole brand, the Sorority Nutritionist.
You got it.
I always say nutritionalist, and I'm like, is there an "ol" in it, or is it just nutritionist?
I literally had a girl.
Is nutritionalist a word?
So I don't think it's a word, but it's so funny. I had a girl about over a year ago post on TikTok, and this video got like so viral. She's like, the Sorority Nutritionalist, I think that's her name, helped me lose 50 pounds. And everyone's like, I can't find her anywhere. Yeah. Because everyone was looking up nutritionalist. Yeah. So it happens literally all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to tell me about this brand because I know you have helped and taught thousands of women around the world how to lose weight, but while also having fun. And that's the thing, because I feel like losing weight, dieting, all of that isn't always fun, and that's why a lot of people dread doing it. But it's like also once you get going, once you get that first gym session in the first week, 2 weeks, and then it becomes a habit. I forget how long they say it takes to develop a habit.
Like 30 days. Yeah. Let's say a month.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me more about your brand, your brand, the Sorority Nutritionist, and how this all came about.
Yeah, so candidly, in college, I gained 20 pounds my freshman year. Like many young women, it wasn't the freshman 15.
I was going to say, it's normally the freshman 15.
Yeah, so I gained 20 pounds. And honestly, I had this moment where I realized I wasn't comfortable in my body. I was playing competitive sports and I joined a sorority, drinking, partying. I went to Florida State.
I was going to ask, where did you go?
Yes, I went to Florida State.
Okay.
It's very fun. I lived in my sorority house for 2 years with like 50 women in the house, and there was like 400 women in the chapter. So it was like the college experience.
50 women in a house.
Yes.
Okay, so Brock was actually just asking me this recently. We were driving by UCLA and he's like, so where are like the sorority and fraternity houses? How big are these houses? I'm like, I don't know, 10 bedrooms, like how, if 50 women are living, how big are these houses?
I mean, they're mansions, candidly. Actually, they did construction on my specific sorority house when I was there. So there was like, I think 12 or 13 chapters, and all of them are basically mansions. It's crazy.
Wow.
But they're not like, you share rooms with other girls. Like,
you have like bunk beds?
It's bunk beds.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was really fun, at least my experience in college. I have really good things to say about sorority and Greek life. It made me the woman that I am and made me a lot more confident in myself. But regardless, I gained 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And at that point, I didn't know what to do. You go on that time on Pinterest, on social media, you just like try to see what to do. So what I did is I would run like 6 or 7 miles a day and basically eat less than 1,000 calories. I had no idea what I was doing. And like, candidly, with the goldfish moment, like I thought an almond, like that would be a meal, like not an almond, but like a handful of almonds. And I would just be so hungry, wake up in the middle of the night. And ultimately I got to the point where I just felt so restricted, and I lost 30 pounds, but I just was so restricted. So that's kind of when I had a turning point. I started studying nutrition in school. And I honestly, just over time, I realized I didn't want to have to give up my social life and happy hour. And like, I just wanted to feel good. Plus so much of what I learned in school just wasn't even aligned with what I would ever recommend to literally anyone.
Right.
So I just really wanted to help women just feel better.
Yeah.
I'm really helping women that were me ultimately.
Yeah. I love that. I took a note here. It says how feeling miserable and miseducated on wellness led to your dream career path. So I love that you were able to take something negative, turn it into a positive, and make an entire career about it. I mean, that's amazing.
It's crazy. Like, I literally talk for a living about feeling freaking hot, or we're going to swear probably. We're allowed to, right?
You can say whatever the fuck you want on Scheananigans.
You are allowed to feel fucking hot in your body. You're allowed to want to love the way that you look. And I think it's crazy how it's taboo, and just the shame. I get DMs from women that are like, I'm embarrassed that I want to lose weight, or people just say, love yourself the way that you are. And truthfully, losing weight is not just about being the thinnest number on the scale. It's about just liking yourself, especially if you right now don't.
That was the one thing with me when I was in college. I was so fixated on the number on the scale. Literally, if I gained like half a pound in the day, which obviously you're lightest when you wake up, you're the most when you go to bed, but I would step on the scale like 10, 15 times a day and just make sure like, okay, well, I guess I got to have, 10 less goldfish because like I've gained point whatever.
That was literally me in college too.
Yeah.
So bad.
And it's so unhealthy. Like now, I mean, when I was pregnant, I had to keep track of my weight. My doctor said I should gain 25 to 30, and then I hit 30 real quick, and I was like, now we're approaching 40,
That happens to so 50. Many women, by the way.
And I was healthy, though. I wasn't eating bad during my pregnancy. I'm not a sweets person at all. My husband started making homemade pies for our YouTube channel.
What a
from
gem.
Scratch.
Oh my God.
I know, but I was like, that could have contributed to like the extra like last 5 pounds. But ever since I had the baby, I tried to just not be weighing myself all of the time because I didn't want to get so fixated on the number. And then the last 2 months of my life have just been insane. There's been a lot
insane.
A lot going on that has affected my appetite and working out habits and everything recently, and I've lost more weight. And so I'm like, I'm not trying to, but the other day I pulled the scale out of the closet. I don't keep it just out on display anymore because I don't ever want to get back into that place. And I stepped on it and I was like, okay, time to up the food, up the weights. Like I don't want to be in the 1-0s. Because I don't think that that's a healthy weight for me. And it shows what stress and anxiety does to your body. So for someone like me, I want to talk about 2 extremes. For someone like me who is stressed and anxious and kind of going through shit right now and wants to do this all in a healthy way, what are some tips? But also on the contrary, people looking to drop the extra weight but not be fixated on a number.
Yes. So I take a very different approach with women at times. So it's not that I want you to weigh in all the time, but I do find for some women weighing in consistently when say you're trying to lose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus pounds, having a barometer of where you're at can actually be really helpful. So I have some clients that weigh in every day. And what I do is we track the lowest weight of the week.
Okay.
So we that way are able to track the trend alongside progress photos, measurements, looking how you feel in your body and, just even feeling how clothes fit inside of you and that stuff. So that way you're able to see the trend over time and it isn't so life and death every single moment you step on the scale.
Yeah.
But I also do know for some women, it is extremely triggering to get on the scale. So if you're listening to this and you are very triggered by that, this is not me saying go on the scale every day.
Right.
You have to check yourself. And honestly, it's just a data point. It is just a gauge of where you're at. And I think what's really beautiful about your story is you actually are using the scale now to help you not get in those low numbers when you're stressed. Like the scale is just feedback of your habits ultimately.
Totally. I like what you said too about one thing with me is how do things fit? And I'm like, I went from in my pregnancy, I was a size 0 when I got pregnant and I ended at a size 10. And then I slowly I was a large, I worked my way back to medium, small. And now I'm back in my 0 extra small phase. But until I knew where I got back, I was just like, okay, well, my medium's a little big on me now, so I'm probably a small. And I didn't want to focus on the number. I'm like, look, if my clothes fit and they feel good and I'm comfortable in it, the number doesn't actually matter because it is really so easy to get fixated on that. And it's like, oh, I really want to lose 3 pounds. It's like 3 pounds. What is it's a number.
Literally. And I mean, day to day, your scale is going to change. Even within a day, it's going to change. But you did not gain 5 pounds of body fat in a day. Yeah. I once had a client who literally had French onion soup, gained 7 pounds in a day. Obviously freaking the F out. And I'm like, girl, it's not 7 pounds of fat. You physically cannot gain 7 pounds of fat in a day. Yeah. It's not possible.
No, it's like there's water weight, there's sodium, it's just like there's so many factors that go into it. But I just know because I've been down that rabbit hole how easy it is to get fixated on a number.
It really is. And honestly, too, what I really promote and teach is not just weight loss, but fat loss. So actually changing your body composition, losing body fat, building muscle. I mean, that's really what everyone wants. Like if you're wanting to lose weight, it's really not just about being a number on the scale. Yeah. It's about looking a certain way and having a certain physique fit for your body, right? It's going to look different person to person. And, if you're taller versus, 5 foot versus 6 foot, you're going to have, you could have similar body compositions, but ultimately the scale is going to be drastically different because you're wildly different heights than another person.
Yeah, totally. I want to talk about one of your programs, the 90-day Fit Babe Body. So I was on your website this morning and I was looking at some of your clients before and after pictures, but it's amazing what you've been able to help people to do because especially when you see, the transformations, those are real. They're not Photoshopped.
They're real.
This is possible. It's like you can do it too. If they can do it, you can do it. So tell me a little bit more about your 90-day Fit Babe Body program because I know it's one of the things that can make weight loss less scary, less boring, less stigmatized and all that.
Yeah, so really all of my programs, so I'm such a branding lover, similar to yourself. I feel like I love your branding. But really with TSN, which is the sorority nutritionist, I have kind of segued into actually using the phrase hot, healthy, never hungry. And why I really chose
hot, healthy, never hungry.
Yes.
I like that. We need to put that in the description of this podcast.
It's fun, right? So now my method actually has a name. So it's the hot, healthy, never hungry method. And really, when I say method, I feel like sometimes that can come off cringe to people. But really what I teach is just the science of nutrition. I just want to simplify this for you ladies. So the first phase that we always do with clients is we got to understand why your weight loss is a hot mess in the first place. So I'm all about, understanding really why you got here before we even change an ounce of food on your plate, before we change up a workout. Like, why are you struggling with your weight? For some people, it was a traumatic life experience and you turn to food and for that emotional comfort. And so that's something that we have to work through. For other clients, it honestly is you're booked and busy and you're not eating in the morning. Then you come home at 3 p.m. and you're binging the entire pantry. That is also myself. For other clients, you're so strict during the week. And then the weekends, you're overeating. That's like the party girl is what I call it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. See, you're speaking to my soul because especially I have a toddler. I have a very busy life, and I do not prioritize myself at all anymore. I prioritize my family and everyone else before myself. I know. It's like I just have not, especially the last couple months, I've not been taking care of myself. I was doing yoga every day at home, and I have a tonal, and I was working out so much, but now it's like, okay, the baby needs this. I need to make sure. I mean, she's eaten today. She had a full breakfast. She had a snack. I've had coffee. I had a Factor smoothie, which I love.
I do like Factor meals.
Yes, no. Right. So the Factor meals are one thing that have been keeping me going because they're just so easy to just chuck in the microwave for 2 minutes.
So easy.
And the smoothies I love. But other than my Factor smoothie, I had a Prime drink on my way here, and I've not had like actual food. And then I have to go to a shoot after this, and then it's like by the time I get home, I'm like, cool, it's 4 p.m. and I haven't had actual
LA traffic.
Food. I know.
It makes it so hard to eat here, honestly.
I know.
Literally.
It really does. Okay, but let me tell you, just because Brock and I don't always have the energy to cook for ourselves, we do always have the energy to cook for our daughter. She is priority, and she gets the home-cooked meals. So what Brock and I are always looking for are new, simple, easy recipes. And our go-to has been the ones with Pillsbury crescent rolls that can be added to your weeknight dinner rotation. You can find Pillsbury in the dairy aisle, dinner prep in 30 minutes or less. And let me tell you, I've got a picky kid, and it is picky eater pleasing. So we have been whipping up a bunch of kid-pleasing dinner recipes that won't take all night to make by filling up our Pillsbury crescents with delicious ingredients that are transforming the crescents from a side dish to the main dish. When I grew up, I remember loving having Pillsbury biscuits or crescent rolls or whatever just as a side dish. But now with all of these new recipes, summer is set to have nutritious and delicious all rolled up in one. Weeknight recipes are as easy as fill, roll, and bake. You can roll up your favorite ingredients into a crescent roll, quick and easy spin on any weeknight recipe. So you can find Pillsbury in the dairy aisle, dinner prep in 30 minutes or less. And let me tell you, I've got a picky kid, and it is picky eater pleasing. Find more weeknight dinner recipes at Pillsbury.com.
But yeah, so really with the Hot, Healthy, Never Hungry method, I love understanding that piece. And we actually break down, I have like a free quiz, and basically we break down your dieting type. So the party girl's the good during the week, bad during the weekend. The gossip girl, she gets in her head. She's like an asshole to herself. I got to be real. Like she's so obsessed with the scale, like obsessed about the numbers. We have the businesswoman is oftentimes like has so much motivation, but she just doesn't know what the F she should be doing. So I'm the businesswoman. She just needs a plan, honestly. Mm-hmm. And then the basic bitch is honestly, she just needs to get back to basics. She needs to go back to the basics, not like overcomplicate this shit. So yeah, we really start there. And then from there, my clients oftentimes do track their calories. You have to learn what's in your food, but the goal is not to do it forever. The goal is just to understand really how to create meals that are balanced, that are hitting your personalized calorie budget, and learning what I call is like how to spend your calorie money. So ultimately you do have to eat less than what you burn to lose weight, but that feels so intimidating and restrictive to a lot of women. Yeah. So what I like to do is flip it on its script and, say you have this calorie budget. It's not about what to cut out. It's what foods can we eat to actually hit this budget, similar to how we spend money at a store, right?
Yeah.
Like how can we make it more fun and empowering? So that's really how we start off. Obviously there's other things we do, of course, but that's really the foundation that you have to build with.
Totally. I love that. And I love a good quiz. Takes me back to like high school, like cosmopolitan days, and it's like, which this are you? But all the ones that you described, those are so cute. I love that. We're going to take a quick little break and be right back. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. My fave that y'all know. I talk to you about it every week because I eat it every week, whether it is my smoothies in the morning, a chicken meal at lunch, maybe a pasta meal at dinner. I have had so many amazing meals from Factor that come delivered straight to my door every Tuesday. So I am set up to be fueled and fed for the entire week. If you guys are like me and you are too busy to think about what to make every night for dinner, every day for lunch, you don't have time to go to the grocery store, skip the chopping, the cooking, the prep, the mess. all of that, and choose Factor instead. They have something for every lifestyle. They have calorie conscious options. They've got keto, vegan, vegetarian, protein plus. I mean, literally something for everyone. And every week they have so many new options. This August, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Ready in just 2 minutes. You just chuck it in the microwave. Easy peasy. You can head to factormeals.com/Team Ariana50 and use code Team Ariana50 to get 50% off. And now another thing I need to tell y'all about is something my sister told me about, which I'm sure you've seen commercials on TV. I've seen them all the time. And this is Rakuten, which is the most rewarding way to shop and save because the members of Rakuten earn cash back on everything they buy. So if you're spending money, why would you not want to earn some of that cash back? Rakuten is a shopping platform that partners with over 4,200 stores across every category. Yes, I said 4,200 stores. They have everything from beauty, clothing, electronics, home, department stores, pets, etc. You name it. Rakuten.com. That's Rakuten.com, or get the Rakuten app to start saving today because your cash back really adds up. Beauty, places like Sephora and Ulta, I spend so much money there. I would love to get a little bit of that back, you know? Basically, Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop. Membership is free and it's easy to sign up. The stores pay Rakuten a commission for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the commission with its members. So you get paid via check or PayPal quarterly. I mean, why not? So how about y'all start shopping at Rakuten.com. That's Rakuten.com, or get the Rakuten app to start saving today. That's Rakuten.com because your cash back really adds up. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is how to lose weight, but while staying sane. Because that's the one thing where it's like, oh, if I have to cut this out, if I have to cut that. So some, like how to stop feeling restricted and giving up the foods you love, but still getting to that overall goal.
Yes. So that's where this calorie budget is very freaking handy. So say it takes 2,000 calories to maintain your weight. Your calorie budget for weight loss would be 300 to 500 below your maintenance. So that will be your budget. So that would be what, 1,500 to 1,700 calories a day. Now, with tracking your food, what if you wanted I love Yasso bars, if you're a fan of those.
Wait, I don't know what that is.
So they're Greek yogurt ice cream bars.
Ooh,
I literally just am
Greek
obsessed
yogurt.
with them. But whether it's ice cream, like I'm a sweets person, not like you. Or maybe you're like a chips person and you're a salty person.
Yeah, I'm way more savory than sweet.
Yep. So really whatever fun food you want to have, what if you just fit it into that calorie budget when you're planning your meals? It's literally not a big deal. So that actually is what I wanted to do with my clients from the beginning, because so many of them were so scared about restriction and they felt so deprived. And that was a big reason why they couldn't stick to their diet in the first place. But being able to fit the food in, it literally, I mean, they could have the food arguably almost every day and achieve their goals, which was so much more fun. So I think it's a much better way to go about weight loss. Obviously, weight loss takes some discipline at times. And of course, what you eat is so important for your metabolism and your hunger hormones and, you know, sciencey things that we could definitely talk about. But ultimately, we want to make this fun. And so a lot of times we think we have to be perfect with our diet 24/7, but oftentimes that perfection is actually why we're sabotaging ourselves.
I like that. I know there's like so many, you know, there's like the Jenny Craig and all of that, but like so many of these diets, it's like you can still have a chocolate cake, but then you maybe cut out this or whatever. So I like that you're saying that you don't have to give it all up, you know, you just have to work it in and the way the numbers work.
Yeah. And also find what's worth it for you. I often say that to clients. So, you know, if ice cream is super worth it for you, but you're at an event and you're around food a lot of my clients, they work in offices and there's like tempting foods all the time. You know, if something's not worth it for you and you're in a fat loss phase, I would say skip it and then wait for the thing that's actually worth it. So that way you're kind of picking and choosing what's really valuable for you. And then also what I do with my clients is with your calorie budget, what if we focus on weekly averages? So say you had a really fun event or you're on vacation and something's super worth it for you.
Yeah.
If you go over your calorie budget one day, you haven't failed the diet. You haven't failed your entire weight loss journey. The weekly averages matter most. So you could be higher one day, but you could still hit that budget over the course of a week when you're tracking.
Okay. I love that. I remember when I was doing my carb cycling days.
Yeah.
There was
same idea.
Yeah.
Same idea.
One of those days it was a Disneyland day. And I was like, how am I going to not eat carbs at Disneyland? But I did it. And I figured out a way to make it work. I was like, oh, well, I can have this, grilled chicken and broccoli. And I somehow was able to make it work because also I knew that if I just had something that wasn't good that day, then the next, and then it throws you off. So it's like you save it for when it matters. And if I wanted to have enchiladas on my carb day, I wasn't going to ruin that at Disneyland with the corn dog. But the corn dogs at Disneyland are so good.
You know what? My toxic trait is I have never tried a corn dog in my entire freaking life.
Wow.
I know what's wrong with me.
I mean, it's not like my go-to food by any means. Honestly, Disneyland is the only place I eat them. There's like two places. I think there's one at California Adventure, which I've yet to find actually. But when you walk into Disneyland, you go all the way down Main Street. And before you go into like whatever Space Mountain Land is called, I can't think right now, there's a little corn dog stand. Oh my God. And the batter that is on them, it's just so incredible. It's like the one thing I crave when I go to Disneyland. And I'm not a big corn dog person. But yeah, so that's me.
I will have to go there when I move out here. I'm obsessed.
I know. Okay, so you've been in Florida, Boston, but you're moving to LA soon.
I am moving to LA, baby.
How excited are you?
I mean, even just like being here at the Dear Media Studios with you, I'm like, this is a vibe. This is where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
It's just so fun. And especially like for anyone else out there who's in this space too, like Boston is just not the same when it comes to like social media. And, it's amazing. It's a beautiful city. I was born and raised there, but I'm definitely ready for this next chapter.
Yeah. So what made you decide on this move? Are you moving out here solo? Do you have friends out here?
So I have 2 friends out here that are me and my husband's friends that we know.
Okay. Well, now you have 3.
So now I have 3. Yes. But I am moving because of my husband actually. So partially because of me, just because of my career and things, but especially for my husband. So he is he's doing his fellowship out here.
Okay. Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I personally, being born and raised here, can't think of a better place to live. So I think you're going to love it.
A lot of hot girl walks.
Yes.
Like, literally. So I used to live in Florida and I just even looking outside, like the palm trees and everything, like if you live in a cold place, trying to be healthy, fit and active is so hard in winter when it's gloomy and it's not sunny. So my soul was meant to be here. Yeah.
And the part of town you're moving into, I mean, you could be at the beach in 15 minutes. It's so nice. I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited. You're gonna love it. Okay, so I had a couple more things I wanted to talk to you about, like the common ground between intuitive eating and weight loss. So tell me a little bit how the sorority nutritionists can navigate that gray area in today's health and diet culture.
Yeah, I obviously put a little spotlight on myself because I talk about weight loss in a environment sometimes on social media where weight loss, it's funny because so many people are so passionate about it, but at the same time, it's a very tricky topic right now. And honestly, I had my own eating struggles in college. I was very restrictive, obviously, what I shared.
Right.
I've been there myself. Actually, I even worked with eting disorders. So it's funny when people are like, you have no idea what this or that is. I'm like, I literally worked in an eating disorder clinic and I had my own struggles. But I really wanted to create a safe place for women to lose weight. Safe in terms of how they're actually going about dieting, so they're not developing these really severe disorders and that are so multifactorial. There's other things that go into them, but just a safe place to lose weight, but also feel empowered, because also when you look good and you feel good about your body, you're going to be better in your career, you're going to be better in your relationships, you're going to show up as a different person. Like I just can't imagine women not feeling hot in their body. Like that's horrible when you think about it.
And it's not in like a vain way. It's not like I need to be hot and overly filtered and all of that. It's just everyone, no matter what size you are, you still want to feel good in your body. You want to feel good when you get dressed. You want to feel good when you take photos. Like this is one thing I try to emphasize to my mom all the time. I'm like, Mom, if you're not happy with how you look, then let's do something about it, because I want you to feel good. I want, whenever we take, like, I'll have the vlog camera out and she's like, oh God, Scheana, no, my double chin, and I'm like, Mom,
moms,
I want to have all of these moments with you and your granddaughter, you know, and I don't want you to always be like, I don't want the camera in my face because I don't like how I look. I'm like, then let's do something about it, please. Like, there's so many times where she's like, oh, I'm just going to be the voice behind the camera. I'm like, but every time I put you on camera, you complain. So it's like, I want you to be in all of these things, but I want you to feel good. And I feel like so many women and probably men struggle with that as well. It's just feeling good and comfortable in your own body, but it's also not always easy. You know, it is a journey to get there sometimes. So I love that you are someone who helps women, you know, feel hot and healthy, because we do deserve to have it all.
We do deserve to have it all. And also, I really think you're not living life to the fullest if you don't feel good in your body. Like, food is not supposed to be the enemy, and how you look doesn't mean you're vain. Like, if you care about it, like, that doesn't mean you're vain. We've put that label on people, and obviously our culture can be a little bit obsessed with it. But when you go about this in a proper way, you're not actually going to be obsessed with food and focused on calories constantly and not living your life. Like, it's actually going to open up this part of your life that lets you live and do amazing things. And I don't know, every woman just deserves to feel good in their body, ultimately.
No, I agree. I learned about what you mentioned, a hot girl walk on the show this season. I need to find a different girl to do my next hot girl walk with.
No, we're going there.
My sister had told me about this trend on TikTok, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this bitch on a hot girl walk. And we did our little TikTok trend and whatnot. But I, now that the weather is starting to heat up, need to do a new hot girl walk. So
summer.
Exactly. Yeah. But also, when you do officially move out to LA, let's meet in like Venice, do a hot girl walk. And I have a great group of girlfriends. I have some friends on the west side. So this is a good place to be, to meet people. But you're gonna love it out here. I'm very excited for you in this
hot girl
next
walking
chapter.
With whatever this fun little drink is that we're having today.
Uza, So it's funny. I had a bunch of these. This brand had sent me a bunch of them for my baby shower. Obviously, I was pregnant. I couldn't drink them.
Wait, that's horrible.
Yeah, but for everyone else, it was like everyone else get drunk.
Yeah,
and I think I'm down to maybe my last can, and my baby's about to be 2, and they sent me so many. I was so thankful. And then a year after breastfeeding, I was like, these don't go bad, right? They're still good. Alrighty, and our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink a little bit every day. My husband has got me on this AG1 kick. I'm telling y'all, when the package arrived to our front door, he was like a kid opening up a Christmas present. I've never seen him so excited to open up a package. So I decided I have to give AG1 a try, because if my husband's this excited about it, it must be good. So he has it every morning. He just literally puts 1 scoop of the green powder in water, shakes it up, and drinks it straight. For me, I like to mix it with a smoothie, because I just like to add a little fruity flavor to my greens and mix it all together, and boom. So Brock says this is the best way to start our day. At first, I was like, should I take it after a workout? Do I take it before? But he's like, no, take it to start your day, because it makes me feel basically unstoppable, ready to take on the day. I'm always looking for life upgrades, you know, and this is why I've come to love AG1. Every scoop is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and whole food sourced ingredients of high quality that give really big, major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. So ladies, you definitely want this. If you want to take ownership of your health, try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/Scheana. That's drinkag1.com/Scheana. Check it out. Speaking of alcohol, for those who are trying to lose weight, stay healthy, what would you recommend if they don't want to cut the booze? What would you say are some of the best things to still drink if you're gonna drink?
to be more mindful. So a little like seltzer moment. So like, I'm not sure Uza's nutrition facts. Let's see right here.
130 calories.
So 130, but even a lot of the seltzers are like 100, some are 90. So going for like a high noon kind of moment, that can definitely save a lot of calories. Yes, high noons are so good. So I like that. I love a little skinny margarita, but not every bartender makes skinny margs the same. So you have to ask how they make it.
You have to say, and also like no triple sec ever.
Yes.
That makes it the most unskinny margarita. You know, and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna put agave. I'm like, no, I want it more tart. Like just lime juice is fine. But then when they make it sweet, it's like, it's not skinny.
And it doesn't taste the same. The worst is when you go to a place, especially like cheaper restaurants where they like have the pre-made mix.
So gross.
Literally, like I won't even order a margarita, not because of even the nutrition facts. Like it's just not good. So yeah, you have to ask how they make it. A lot of restaurants just do like the lime juice and the tequila, and it's a lot more basic, but definitely you have to ask. A glass of wine depends on the pour though. I mean, some restaurants will pour like 2 glasses, and so one serving rather is 120 calories. So double that. I mean, it can definitely add up quickly. But yeah, you know, I consider alcohol like a fun food. You know, it's definitely something that has the possibility to hold you back if you're in a fat loss phase. Fat loss is different than maintenance, of course, but yeah, you just have to be mindful about it. And, you know, ultimately, if it's worth it for you, like if you're going on a vacation to Mexico, like that's probably not the time to be like, I'm never having a margarita.
Right.
Like, let's wait till you get back.
Totally.
And that's not diet starts Monday. It's picking and choosing when we're going to kind of bring up the intensity a little bit versus simmer it back down.
Yeah. I feel like when I was doing my carb cycling, I was like a Tito's soda girl, and I would just put a ton of lemons, and I felt like that literally that's mine. 3 lemons.
Tito soda, 3 lemons.
Yes.
Or sometimes I do tequila. Tequila's a vibe with it too.
See, if you like tequila.
Yes. I do like
tequila. I can shoot like a Casamigos Reposado. It could be warm or it could be chilled because that tequila is so good. But if it's like Casamigos Reposado or Clase Azul, those ones are okay, not necessarily chilled. Yeah. But tequila soda, you know when you're expecting something, right? You order like a vodka soda and you take a big sip, but then I've had so many moments where they made it with tequila instead, and I'm just like, oh, nope, wasn't expecting that. I don't like to sip on tequila. I can shoot it.
It never leads to good things. Let's be real.
That's very, very true.
I've never met someone that sipped a lot of tequila that it led to a good decision.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. What would you say? Okay, so like we might have touched on this a little bit, but targeting fat loss and not just the weight loss, but like its impact on your metabolism, focusing on pairing the right types of food with the right types of exercise, physical activity. What do you think about that?
Yes. So I would say the trifecta for not fucking up fat loss is my new thing I'm saying now.
Don't fuck up fat loss.
We don't want to F it up because we want a hot girl metabolism, which means we don't want to be slowing shit down because that means less food, more hangriness, like you're not going to feel good and you're going to increase your risk of regaining the weight. So we want to make sure you're in a slight deficit, so not really cutting out entire meals and feeling starved. Like we don't want that. We want that slight deficit. The second thing is protein every single meal. And just in general, you have to eat enough protein for your body. You do require more protein. And then the third thing is strength training. So if you pair a slight deficit with enough protein and strength training, you're going to increase your chance of actually keeping this weight off. And you're also going to, what I call is target fat loss. So really focus on losing body fat while keeping as much muscle as possible, which ultimately gives you that toned physique that every woman is really going after ultimately.
Totally.
But that's actually healthier too.
Yeah.
It's not good to just lose a lot of muscle mass when you lose weight.
Yeah. I feel like it's just so important too to emphasize, like you do have to put the work in, you know, nothing's going to happen overnight. There's no, like, sure, yeah, there's Ozempic and master cleanses and things like that. And like, there's maybe a quick fix, but it's not going to be long term. So having a healthy lifestyle and just putting in the work, because nothing in life is just easy all of the time. And that's the one thing I have personally had to remind myself of. I'm like, if I want my ass to be tight and toned and lifted, I got to do some squats, you know, like you have to put in the work. So for all of my ladies out there, I mean, men too, but for everyone, just, you know, if you want something, if there's a targeted goal, you just got to put in the work. And I'm the first one here to tell you, I know it's not easy because I am not the best at doing it all the time. I'm literally currently trying to force myself back into that first gym session.
Oh, it is the hardest. The first session back. When I go back to Boston, like, it's going to be so hard to get back to it.
So I just want you all to know, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching, I'm with you. I totally get it because I'm in it right now. I'm like, just because I'm back and I'm thin, I don't feel good about myself. I'm like, sure, the clothes fit. Some are actually a little big. I'm like, oh, I'll just tell myself the baggy jeans are in. But I don't feel great about myself right now. And I know I need to put the work in. And so thank you so much for being here to help motivate me, motivate my audience to put the work in, do the right things, because you do feel your best, I think, when you look your best. And it's not just like physically the way you look, it's how you feel. Like if I feel like I look good, then you look good. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. And I know it's just a challenge because I'm currently in it.
Oh, it's tough. But also, the more you do it, it's going to feel second nature.
I know.
And you're going to feel better beyond just even the scale. Like, you're going to feel better, more confidence. And like, when you don't break those promises to yourself, you're going to show up completely different in your life too.
Yeah, I was doing so good. We had this checklist above our stove, and every day it was like 15 things we wanted to accomplish every day. And we were just getting to the tail end of it. And then shit hit the fan in my friend group and life. And for the last couple months, I've just not been in it. And so I literally told my husband the other day, I was like, take it down. I don't want to look at what I'm not accomplishing anymore. We'll get back to it.
So actually, I had a client recently say this to me, and now it's been like the thing we say inside of my group program, but just declare bankruptcy. Like, declare bankruptcy, just start fresh.
Yeah.
Like, don't, like, I think sometimes looking at all the things that you didn't do.
Yes.
That sucks. Like, it makes you feel like a total ass. But if you just declare bankruptcy, today's a new day.
Yes. I agree. I need to get back into it. So for all of you out there, we're in this together. Please tell everyone where they can find you and your programs and follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, so you can find me at Sorority Nutritionist, both on TikTok and Instagram. And I have a podcast called Hot, Healthy, Never Hungry. So you can find me there too.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate this. I know it's going to help so many people out there. So
thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
I've been searching for this all my life.